Okay, I just set the timing on the Wolseley WD2. I first of all looked at the manual, which says to time the WD2 you've got to turn it so the flywheel key is at the very top of the crankshaft. This indicates that the piston is at the bottom of the bore, so it's at, well, bottom dead centre if you like. So yep, so we got that done. Then with the flywheel off, I'm not going to take it off because I just managed to set it perfectly, and then with the magneto off, you turn it in the correct direction so that the impulse is just about to engage, and then you turn it in the opposite direction, so in the opposite direction to how it runs back until it fits into the dog with the flywheel key at top dead, not top dead, at the bottom dead centre. So with the flywheel key at the top is bottom dead centre, so the piston is way down in the bore, and then you bolt it up, turn it around in the direction that the engine runs, and the impulse should click with the flywheel key at the bottom, which it does. Should do that every time. So there you go. You can see the impulse engaging there. The cam is no longer moving on the mag until it engages. The impulse is a little tiny bit weak, but it should still give it a good enough spark for starting the engine. So yeah, there you go. That's the timing now set. So make sure these are tight, make sure it can't move anymore. And I'm not going to turn it over anymore until I actually have a spark plug on there, so I don't want to do any damage to the mag. But we finally got the timing done. So the timing is done, the flywheel key is in. Okay, this is probably going to be the last part of the Wolseley WD2 restoration, and then in a bit of video after this we will most likely have the first start up. It's supposed to be about 20 odd degrees tomorrow, nice sunshine, so yeah, we're going to try and take advantage of that, and we're aiming to get the engine running for tomorrow, so we'll see how we go. So we've got the fuel tank on there now, and God damn it, that's tight. And it's fairly clean in there. It's not too bad. We're just going to give it a quick flush out before we actually put the petrol in for running the engine, and then we'll see how we go. Got the back cover off at the moment, so we can see the governor and how I've had to arrange it from the engine to actually get it to work. I tried a longer bolt to start with, but the problem there was it was just hitting the back cover, so it wasn't opening the throttle fully, but it does, I mean closing the throttle fully I mean. So now we can pull it back and get it to close the throttle completely. So we operate with the weights there, and that's pretty much closing the throttle fully. So yeah, we're just going to do some final checks with that, and then we can put the back cover on for good. We got it sitting there. Then obviously we've got to flush out the tank, so I'm going to take the fuel line off again. I had to adapt that, bending it and straightening it and doing various things to actually get it to fit the engine for this startup, but it seems to have done the job. Hopefully we won't have any leaks at this end, we hope anyway, but time will tell. And we've also got our nice new shiny copper washers in there, holding the float chamber on there tight. That just needs a quick nip up once the fuel line is in place and on there properly. Got a fibre washer in there, but we've got to do up the tap tight. So yeah, we've got some sort of like a fabric-y material, sort of like a rubbery sort of stuff around the tank to stop the tank brackets from scratching the paintwork. But yeah, the black and the maroon seem to go well. And obviously we've got some more black. We've got the black on the actual carburetor here with the maroon, and we got that off because we were just checking to make sure the jet was clear. There isn't actually a jet in the carburetor by the looks of it. The jet is all in this bit here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it should start. Timing the actual WD's cam and magneto gear is really simple. If anybody hasn't done it before and they're taking their WD apart or putting it back together, it's just the two dots. There's two dots on the cam here, and they line up with the single dot on the crankshaft gear. And then on the opposite side, when those are lined up on the opposite side, there's a small dot on this side. You can just see it there where my finger is, and there is also a small dot on the cam, not the cam gear, on the magneto gear here, and those two need to line up. So all the dots line up perfectly in this position here, and that's when you've got all the gear timing correct, is in that position there. If you've got all those dots lined up, you can't possibly get it wrong. And I think we've already talked about the magneto timing. Well, there you go. It's been a bit of a rocky ride, but the old WD2 is finally finished. That is it. Job done. All we've got to do is fill her up with petrol, fill her up with oil, water, put the spark plug in. A final torque of the head bolts, and then another quick nip up after the first run. And yeah, that's it. Then she's finished. One last thing before we sign off here and leave this video and prepare for the first run. The flywheel key, we've tapped it in a little bit further this morning. I found a nice round piece of solid bar that went through the keyway here perfectly, and gave her a couple of taps and she moved, and then she just refused to move no more. So I think she's in there as far as she can possibly go. We're going to use an idea Make-Do and Mendwarden suggested. We're just going to put a Jubilee clamp, I'm pretty sure this is what he meant by it, just a Jubilee clip around the flywheel, not around the flywheel, around the crankshaft here, and we'll just leave a little tiny gap in between that and the key, and if the key moves at all we should notice that before it's too late, and hopefully the Jubilee clip, if it's clamped on there tight, should actually stop the flywheel key coming out, or it will at least slow it down, and I should notice long before the flywheel decides to come off. So that's just to prevent that from happening. I'm pretty sure the flywheel's on there for good now, but you can never be too sure, so we'll put that idea into practice, give it a go. Might save us from disaster, or should at least buy us valuable seconds before disaster. But we'll see. Fingers crossed for that nice weather tomorrow. If not, we're supposed to have nice weather next week as well, so if the weather on the weekend isn't as good as I had hoped, then we won't get her out. We will save it for a nice sunny day. There's not much point of getting it out right now and have it piss down with rain halfway through giving her a first run and having to end it quickly. We may as well wait for nice sunshine before we start it. It'll look better in nice sunshine anyway. Give the paint something to really shine about. So yeah, we've just got a few little things to finish. A little bit of touching up on the trolley where we've rubbed it from pulling the engine on and off and stuff like that. But nothing too severe. The wheels are good to go. We've swapped this one that was on the front to the back, the one that had the crack that's been repaired, so she's not got the heaviest weight, so that should be okay. The fuel tank strips aren't as good as I had hoped. There's a really big gap here for some reason, and not the gap on that side, but then it's really close here on this one and not so close here on this one. I can't see for all intents and purposes how I'm going to get it perfect, but for all intents and reasons the straps are straight. They're both in relatively the same position, and the fuel tank is actually straight, so there's not much point in trying to adjust it. But yeah, there you go. She is finished.